this is Ashley with The Panicked Foodie, and today I'm going to show you how to oven dry fresh parsley. First, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Next, we need to remove the leaves from the stems. I tried removing them with a fork like I'd seen in other videos, but unfortunately this didn't work for me. It might be because the leaves are a little limp. So instead, I'll have to remove the leaves one by hand. When preparing the parsley leaves for drying in the oven, I find it really helpful to use a salad spinner to wash and dry the leaves. So here I am taking off the leaves one by one and placing them in the strainer part of the salad spinner. When harvesting your parsley plant, you want to look for leaves that are well matured and bright green. And you see here that on the right hand side you've got baby parsley leaves, and on the left hand side you have mature leaves. These are the leaves that we want to be harvesting. And here we've got some leaves that are a little bit discolored, yellow looking. We don't want to pluck those leaves off. You can throw those away. Here we have some white spots on the parsley leaves. Those are okay to go ahead and dry. Here we have leaves that have on the right hand side where they have a little bit different shades of green. Those are also okay. And again, another leaf with some white spots, which are also okay. Regarding the stems, you can either throw those away or you can put them in a compost pile. Some other people like to wash and dry them and put them in the freezer and make use of them later in making a homemade vegetable stock or broth. Next, we want to rinse the leaves under cold running water. I like to kind of swish them around in my hand under the running water to make sure that I get all the dirt and debris off and possibly any insects. Then place the strainer inside the salad spinner and go ahead and spin it dry. After spinning the leaves dry, I also like to use a kitchen towel to remove any residual water. Next, we want to spread out the leaves on a parchment-lined baking sheet. You don't want to put the leaves directly on the baking sheet because they likely will end up burning. So the parchment sheet adds a layer of protection. And when you spread the leaves out, you want to try to make sure that they're not overlapping that much. If they overlap too much, they won't dry and you'll have to go through another drying cycle. In this case, I do actually have too many leaves, and I'll show what happens later in the video. Before we put the parsley in the oven, we want to reduce the oven temperature down to 170. Place the baking sheet in the oven and bake for 20 minutes. At the end of 20 minutes, remove the baking sheet and place on a cooling rack. Now you may want to let them cool down for a couple minutes before you try to break them up. The leaves should easily crumble between your fingers, and you can see here that they're kind of crumbling, but not as easily as they should be, indicating that there is some residual moisture left in the leaves. Again, probably because I had too many leaves on the baking sheet. After you're done crumbling the leaves, in this case, because I do have some leaves that are still wet, I will have to go through an additional drying cycle. So if you find that this is the case for you, all you need to do is heat your oven back up to 350. Once it reaches that temperature, drop it back down to 170 and bake the parsley for 10 minutes instead of 20. To store the leaves, I like to use a mason jar labeled with a piece of masking tape to let me know when I had dried the parsley. I then take the parchment paper and fold it so it acts as a funnel, and then just let the leaves fall down into the jar. Place a lid on the jar and store it in a cupboard for up to a year. It's always a good idea to check for mold before use. I like to use this oven-dried parsley in homemade shake and bake, baked eggplant parmesan, creamy tortellini with sausage and spinach, and in many other recipes. If you like my tips, tricks, and recipes, click like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching.